Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I have Rakdos Discover ready to be opened up and played. I've played this deck list kind of a lot, not this exact one, but just this deck list in general, and I normally get thrashed playing it. I normally don't have that much success, but I had a commenter in the comments of one of my videos that I played Rakdos in the past suggesting this deck list. It is VroomProductions. You should definitely go check it out. Their channel will be linked in the description. They recommended this. They had a lot of success with it, so we're going to run it and see how it goes, and maybe I can finally have some success playing this deck. We will go ahead and just hop into games. If you all enjoy my content, please be sure to subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Let's just get out there and game. Realistically, it's like they're a creature deck. We got to feel good about this thing, right? And we're on the draw, so sure. I mean, we still have a 2-drop to play regardless, and a 3-drop to play if they're not, and they are aggro, it seems. Land drop's great, especially at land drop. We don't have to commit this cavern too, even though it's not really going to matter against red. It's going to be more of a damage thing if we ever have to put a pain land in play. He will play fire, drive the bottom, sure. Hopefully this matchup's just not like if we would have went first, we would have crushed kind of thing. Because I mean, our hand screams it all. Do we just take this away? I mean, it's kind of the same, right? If we just go ahead and virtue this now, it would be similar to just like getting hit with a Godric. We just take 1 more damage overall for the instant speed removal. Yeah, I'm fine with it. A little bit of life here would be nice. Back up to 18. We're on their turn 3. Gotta feel good. They're down to 5 cards. Most likely be down to 4 or 3 cards here. We just have like the spot up removal. We do need to find one more good draw. Being a land is like the good draw. One hand, I would love to play the Bloodthirsty Adversary. I just don't think it matters. Breach is also pretty solid. So what's the math? They didn't play a land, so they'd have to draw land, play creature, double attack to do it, or play land, attack, and then remove this. I like setting up a creature on the board. Witchstalker Frenzy is what I'm referring to. I think it's cheaper based on the creatures that have attacked. Obviously, there's no block here. Maybe there's a Monstrous Rage, and it'll take a big chunk out of my life total. But I'll start to be able to attack with creature, make life linkers, and we'll be looking good from there. Put this in. We'll go ahead and name Dino for now. We don't have any pain lands currently in play to worry about. Here we're going to start making some life linkers, but they just have to chump. We have double removal. Feeling good. On one hand, you could argue I'm supposed to put the blood type harvester down. I'm kind of watching, see what we get. Yeah, Godric's good, but I'm not that concerned right now. Cards in graveyard is 3. Okay, make it 4. We want them to commit to an attack here, I think. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if they attacked or not. Yeah. Let's just get this off the board as well. Their Triumph's kind of the worst. I would want to wait until we get like a card worth like discarding for it. The second Bitter Triumph is what we need. Now their attacks are a little bit weird. Now we can of course block it. There's a second squee. I mean, realistically, we just hold our removal here and we just clean up the squee. Well, did we hold our removal? Just take 3 at this point, maybe. I think taking 3 is actually fine. Now I'll start to be able to attack my life linker. I'll trade this blood type harvester off. I'm not that afraid to do so. There's a Giggs. How about a card that's good but kind of sketch at the same time? I have a Bitter Triumph and we'll draw a card. It'll just cost us some life here. Make another life linker though. Might not activate this twice, but we're definitely gonna look. He's good. That's a 9. I think I'm fine with that. Another land drop as well. Maybe I hold this land for a turn. I think making the 6 land drops not going to make a difference right now. The reason why is so, I guess, so for next turn, so we have a removal for it. Because their plan is to play land, play a squee. We have that covered completely. I know we're at 9. That's somewhat risky to, like, arguably, like, play with fires or something like that. Or lightning strikes. But realistically, after this point, I'll just hold this until I find another card I can discard with the Triumph, and we'll just start attacking, and we just will not use Gix's ability. We'll just use NT, put a counter on the Vampire with Lifelink, and just attack, and then because they're a bit above us still, Creature's still going to make another Lifelinker. We're going to gain roughly 3, unless, of course, they remove 1, but they're not winning if they do that either. So we'll gain 3, we'll go back up to 12, and they'll get hit for a big chunk of their life total. And then we'll just hold this removal and we'll call it a day from there. We go first. The only real issues, we don't have a lot of stuff on the board for this, but I do like the 4 lands in our opener. I guess we just kind of have to hope to draw well. I know this is always risky, but we play a ton of 2-drops. We play cards that will work well with having the Cruelty of Gix in hand. And we do have like one of the best, like, kind of 4-drops in the game. So we'll run it with this. Probably Restless Bench. Like, Preacher is like a really good draw there, because now they didn't play anything on 1. Looks like mono white and mono white aggression. Preacher's pretty good at monitoring the board in that spot. Now we have the perfect 4-drop into a 5-drop, and using the top ability on the Cruelty of Gix against mono white is actually really good and relevant. We'll definitely do so. I would say that's an angle whether we get Brutal Cathard, whether they get lost this Preacher. If not, we're definitely blocking. I don't care if they grow the adversary. They might be able to give it indestructible somehow. You never know what to expect in best of 1 sometimes. Or they give it flying. Fun. I don't care. Give it flying. It goes over the top here. Well, Cliffs is going to be temporary delayed. That's for sure. Doubt they attack me by any stretch, or block me by any stretch of the imagination. So let's just do this. Let's name Dino. Let's slam a Shieldred, of course. We attack, we make a Lifelinker. Now we have some tempo held back. We're going to be in a tough spot. Steel Seraph is going to be really nice to go over the top, and if we draw a Go for the third, it's not going to work that well. Even though I guess in theory we'd be able to answer the adversary and be fine. Ossification going to come in. It's going to take out my Shieldred. They're going to give the adversary flying again. I would assume it's going to be an attack out kind of situation. Maybe they'll hold the Steel Seraph back. Definitely see it. Oh, okay. Down to 11 we go. We don't gain our life there. Now, do we have to play a Shieldred? Do we have to play Gix and kind of look at their hand and stop them from playing any bigger drop? They missed a land. Would love to play Shieldred. I really would. But we have to play this, take a creature, and then get an answer for the Seraph. We'll be alive then at 6. I mean, we'll technically be alive. It's a risky thing to do. I think it's the thing we have to do. Oh my gosh. Wandering Emperors. I mean, I'm going to take the Adeline. Wandering Emperor doesn't kind of get them to win from here. The double attack, make another Lifelinker back. Faithful Absence obviously come in. Now they can, like, remove this and then give this Vigilance instead of flying if that's what they want to do. There's the Emperor. Maybe it comes in to get rid of the Preacher. Who knows? We'll just have to look in our deck and see what we got for this. They play the Emperor now. But assume you're gonna plus? That seems kind of crazy. I'll give that Vigilance. I would assume they would have given the Preacher away immediately. Seems like a weird kind of weird kind of play here. Just to me overall. Down to 9. Blood type harvester is good. We search. Dinosaur's good. Play that for sure. Like fine. I'm unsure. -3, -3. They can get that out of the way, and then we can attack that and then play a Shieldred. Actually works out really well. Obviously, I'd love to get this down and start playing it. I think we gotta look at ways to get what's on the board out of our way. Pop this. Play this. Move to our combat here. Only really make it where this can plus, I guess. They want to do. I don't make a lifelinker on the back end though, but we'll play Shieldred, and of course they have Faithful Absence, but I think we just have to force them to do that. And if they do that, then obviously we get Shieldred back. That was kind of the strategy with the Cruelty of Gixie. Oh, they find land and get to play the Wedding Announcement. What a draw! What a draw! And I assume we're gonna see another plus on the adversary, because they'll have the creature back. No, a 2/2. I guess they're playing around the fact that they have another Emperor. I mean, it makes sense. All right, good draw for us. Gives us some removal. We could also play the Steel Seraph, huh? But I think Shieldred is just so incredibly good here, especially knowing that they're basically on no cards right now. We'll draw with the card that they gave us. And second Virtue is incredible. We get to play this. We get to Virtue this away. And now it's just like a tempo game. We attack. Triggers. We make another 1/1. We have a Bitter Triumph actually for the Emperor. So they've already made a couple of weird plays with Emperor, at least in my opinion, like the plus and maybe not making a 2/2, and then all of a sudden making a 2/2 on the board, trying to maybe draw cards with the Wedding Announcement. Emperor comes in now.
Anyone who harms my
Shieldred trigger?
with me.
I guess.
You're done.
Where I'm talking, I think the plays have been kind of weird. I think maybe they drew another Emperor, so they're just doing that. I think I'm fine with just losing 3 life here. I guess I can deal with the Emperor regardless, right? Because I can make a 2/2 menace creature. I just have to remove life. Just remove one of these and then actually just have like a decently good attack here. And we'll also bat first, so if they have a like an Elspeth Smite or something important. Oh, second Wedding Announcement. Let's go. Do that. Bring this up. We don't have to discard our Blood Type Harvester. But I think it's worth doing. We'll attack here. Go on face. If they draw another Emperor, they draw another Emperor, but I'm looking to close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we can have better than the Harvester at this point. Also, drawing gets me kind of a life barrier. Oh, we hit him down. We're looking good so far. Play a land. We go empty-handed. You draw Ossification, another Emperor. Maybe this, maybe that. Used to really know what our opponent drew. Alright, so now Shieldred's just going to act as a barrier. I'm going to slam a Virtue. Play another land. Actually, I'm just not even going to budge at all with the cards in my hand. Because again, it didn't Wedding Announcement my Shieldred there. Or not Wedding Announcement, Emperor my Shieldred. But I'm not going to give him a way to get rid of my bat. Not for free, at least. We'll take this Steel Seraph. Now we can give some stuff Vigilance if we want. And exiling is kind of the only answer. Move. Here. Vigilance. Back. Again, if it's just straight up removal, you have double reanimate right now. So they're going to have to figure something out really quick. I'm just going to hold this cavern because if we get to the point that we want to play Restless Vents and attack, and we can discard the cavern. The only thing I guess I'm afraid of is a farewell kind of effect, but one goes first. I think we can keep this. A lot of 2 mana. We do have a 3 mana thing. There's a Phoenix kick. Honestly, better than a mono, I would say. Play Restless Fence, it always enter tapped, and then we play Springs, hold up a removal spell, and then play Haunted Ridge and go from there. There's a Felton. That's kind of the target of our removal. Now, let's play a Springs. I have a lot of removal here. Adric, okay. So, I don't think it matters too much in which way I use these removal spells. I'm going to use a Go for the Throat now, because later in the game, if their hand kind of stalls out, then we can use the Bitter Triumph. Maybe pay 3 life. I know that sounds like insane against mono red, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. This can get hit with the big mana spell. I say big mana spell, but then it's 1 mana. What's it called? I literally played it earlier and named a card. You should know what it is. We've seen attack. I mean, I'm definitely blocking the Felden. That's the whole purpose of this, is like getting this Felden blocked. Maybe they'll hit a land. It's only 2. Yeah, so they might have a lightning strike next turn. Sure. Like, I'm not opposed to that at all. We will play Cavern. Put it on... I mean, at this point, it's probably got to be on Vampire. Didn't have to be. I'm going to put Inti in play. Most likely, this is going to get flying regardless. Let's attack here. Make out Lifelinker that we need. I'm willing to let the Blood Tithe Harvester go because I don't think I'm going to get a lot of value from it. We find removal here. Great. If we don't, which we didn't, what do we do now? Do we play the Harvester? Take 1 more damage, go to 11, and then we can use it as removal, I guess. Might be really bad. Actually, I'm not doing that because it's so quickly will they be able to kind of blow us out for that play. Lightning Strike. Sure. Lightning Strike, play with fire on the Preacher will just be... That's 5 damage that didn't hit my dome. I will take it. Am I go to combat? Obviously. We could double block this Godric, get it off the battlefield. We'll see if that's what they plan to do. If they don't... Oh, even better. So for me, I think it's worth... do this. Get this Godric off the battlefield. Because now I can attack with this 1/1 Lifelinker. And we'll get to keep this until end of time here. So we'll just play the vents. Move to combat. We'll attack here. I'm going to decline this time around. I know it's only 1 life, and that's kind of what we wanted. But I'm going to do this. And I'm going to play this bat. I'm going to look at their hand. See what we got. Lightning Strike is the most annoying card in this hand because it can obviously spot up, remove stuff. I think we just take it. Charming Scoundrels are obviously good, but we can actually answer those to an extent. The main problem with Charming Scoundrel will be like play here, put a Wicked Roll token, play the other one, discard a card, draw a card. So they won't discard anything, they'll just draw a card. Yeah, about what I figured. Would assume it would go on Phoenix 60. Put it there. Okay. Now this should, in theory, discard a card, draw a card to put extra card in their hand. But they want to go for the Wicked Roll token. I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong for sure. What do we want to do? Go to combat. They're obviously swinging. Give them Lightning Strike. Take this away. Block and then just remove. Then we just kind of go from there. And I get them down and they just get a Lightning Strike back. I gotta take 3. Take 3 regardless, but that way I take 4. Might be an overcommitment. Feels like I'm overcommitting. I'm gonna take so much damage here. I guess like I just need to hold because it's slightly less. Now it's like, now what do I do? You know what I'm saying? I just hold this Carnosaur. In my 1 life. Blocking doesn't really give me a lot. I guess I could bring up my man land to block. Then they can lightning strike it and I can still remove it. Maybe they will... I have so many cards in the graveyard too. Oh. Ass, I guess. Good. Block here. I'm gonna take 3 damage. Point. They take their entire turn to play this squee next turn. I'm fine with it. Go down to 7, 6. Oh. I mean, I could draw another lightning strike, I guess, but here we go. I have anything that's good in here? I can't use the second mode, therefore I can't select the first mode. I guess it doesn't matter. View browser. We have to pick the 3rd mode. I guess Preacher's probably best, right? All these are, or I can take their squee and then they won't have it to bring back here. That'll limit their draws. Kind of like that. Or I can Deep Cavern Bat and then take their lightning strike from their hand. I kind of like that as well. I guess that's the play, right? It was either bring back squee, which I can pretty much block, or bring back this, take the lightning strike, and then gain a lifelinker. Of course, we're throwing a block. I would assume this has to be like Monstrous Rage or Witchstalker Frenzy. Hey, we found the card. Found the card name. Go for the throw is great. I can probably bring this up and attack and still have go for the throw held back. Yeah. Just gotta take it slow. And go 1 card at a time here. In our life, we're up to 9. We're almost about to turn the table. The best case for us is that they tap out and they play a squee, and then we just go for the throw it here. Sure, I guess. They're looking to get their lightning strike back and take out my lifelinkers, maybe? You want to use both spells on these? Fair enough. I mean, it is a fair play. It's the only way I've been kind of sticking around here. And with that draw, I mean, I'm just slamming this again. And it's the combo deck. Popping off. We're having a good time. I will put that in my hand. Do not need to cast that onto either my Carnosaur or my Appraiser. That'd be a bad time. We've had a lot of burn hit our creatures over this span of this game. Bring back squee. Okay. Well, we can block squee up. They can't really do much about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're really close to just being able to Cruelty a Gix and then do the other thing here. I mean, I have to attack. I have to block. Well, actually, never mind. I have lethal. I don't have to do nothing. I'm so sorry for tanking. That's a little bit BM for me. I just kind of like, we play against mono red, your brain inherently gets defensive. And if you've played against mono red enough, you know what I'm talking about. Where I just kind of looked and I was like, oh, they'll have to block. Maybe I can bring up this land and attack with it. And I'm like, never mind. I can just remove the creature. I don't have to be defensive anymore. I can just win the game on the spot. I think that reasoning makes sense. One obvious by me just yapping. I'm gonna keep this hand. Or mono red, dude. Play a tap land. We'll move. Gotta grind and go slow once again. Lightning strike. I mean, at this point, we just hold, I think. We just hold up this go for the throat. Much worse creatures can come down on turn 3 than worrying about this Phoenix chick anytime soon. Because obviously, on one hand, you're like, oh, we should virtue it out of the way. But I think there's significantly worse things going on. I guess we just hold the Bitter Triumph. Then maybe next turn, depending what happens here, it's like virtue into whatever. Bitter Triumph. I'll discard a card. I don't think I have time for the Blood Tithe Harvester, so I'd rather just discard it here. It's normally fine, but it dies to every spot removal that they play. I'm not a fan of necessarily holding it. Now the Appraiser. You just play Appraiser and then use the other cards to kind of stabilize next turn. Talking Numa, I think we have less time for. We can obviously sometimes cycle this and it work out well. So let's play Appraiser. Hopefully the 3-2 gets to play. We get to go for the throat this Phoenix Chick. On one hand, you could argue like just put the go for the throat in the hand and let the Phoenix Chick go. And I think that makes sense, honestly. Maybe that's something we should have done. Mechanized Warfare, that's not good. For I think obvious reasons. A lot of reasons Mechanized Warfare would not be good for us to have to deal with. Bat. Look. Oh my, what a flood. We're definitely attacking. We don't have anything under this bat, so like why would we change what we do now? Land. I played a couple of mono red games the other day, and when I was filming, the amount of times that this happened, I was appalled. I was not having a good time. So here they have 4 cards. They need 1 more card in the yard, and if it's a burn spell, they definitely could have it come up, and it's a little bit dangerous here, I guess. But also, like, the longer we wait, the faster it is that we'll lose. And worst case scenario, we can always cycle this to make 2 blockers, or we have a 2/3 that we'll just throw in front of something if needed. But they definitely could Lightning Strike, bring back a Squee here, and we'd be in big trouble. Nice. I get it, but they have to do that to bring back the Squee. Maybe not the creature they should have targeted, but, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So their whole yard's gone. Squee comes up. Is Sokazon worth it over my manland? And I think the answer is yes. We'll just block here. We'll take our chunk of 3, and then we'll just virtue it because we'll gain some of that life back. I think we see them kind of be like, why didn't they remove this? And that's kind of why. And then now we can turn up the heat. Nothing like mono red flooding. Our life total is pretty high. I'm down to get aggressive. Start setting them on lethal next turn. Especially the fact that, like, I get this. I 100% do. Because, like, you want to be able to kill the creature with a Play with Fire. But I think, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll do the thing, and I'm just going to go to combat. Decline. They're nice enough to stay. So I didn't discard anything. It's exactly lethal. And we end up getting there again against mono red. Mono red's, I'm out to play today. Just like every match feels like I'm playing mono red. Okay, my opponent goes first again. Oh man, I am on the draw a lot, it feels. I feel like this hand is a little bit questionable. We don't play any 1-drops. Hopefully we just draw a 2-drop and then a land. Blue-white it seems, so it looks like we'll have time. Could be soldiers and they just played the deserted beach first, but it's definitely blue-white. Okay. Well, have stuff and things. Stuff and things and things and stuff. Do, I guess. And I mean, with our hand, we're just going to keep barreling spells. Gotta exhaust them of all their removal, all their counter magic, things like that. Get lost. Sure. Make my appraiser huge. I appreciate that. Alright. Draw another land. That's great. We slam Appraiser first because obviously Shieldreds are good, but we want Shieldreds to actually come in later. They're in a little bit tougher spot. We'll put that in our hand. Go for the throat. Probably a fodder card for the most part. Most likely we'll have to discard that card. There they go. We'll definitely be attacking with Appraiser and then probably putting a Cruelty down. Still double block, who knows? We're setting up here. Combat. Yeah, I guess we could go for the throat with one of their creatures, but then we just lose so much value and tempo here. Now it's like, are they... Oh, they just singleton block. I feel like they have time. Maybe they're wanting me to commit to something, and then they Sunfall me. Don't really have a way to play around a lot of things, so I'm just going to slam this. Maybe it won't have any value. Maybe they'll make this appear. Oh, it actually sticks. Well, we'll put it on 1. We'll go through the motions. We have time. I mean, I guess we take the Emperor. Kind of put them on an Emperor. Elspeth Smite they could have used, and they didn't. And March is obviously usable on my Cruelty Gix. Depending what we draw, we'll probably just end up grabbing a creature here. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see them march this Cruelty. Just because Cruelty's value is pretty high. Yeah. It is substantially high and troublesome to some degree. So let me go ahead and we're going to pop this. We're going to target here. We'll hit a land. Feel good about it. A Bitter Triumph. Planeswalker, but we already have a Bitter Triumph, so we don't need to commit more. Don't have Sunfall. Or maybe they do. But am I opposed to attack here? Right. I thought about virtuing this out of the way and applying pressure. Let's do that, and then let us play a Shieldred here. And make their draw bad. Maybe they have upkeep things they can do. Obviously, they can bring that up. That could have been the hesitation. Maybe they have another March in hand. Play a field. Demolition Field. Really wish we would have drew a bat there. That would have been really nice, because now it's like we let them Wandering Emperor us like we do, and I kind of want to hold this land. Let's crack here. On this Appraiser, make the Appraiser threatening enough on its own. Also, if it gets bigger, okay, like that, Elspeth Smite no longer works. Yeah. So I'm gonna go to combat. We're gonna let Shieldred do her job just by sitting back. We don't need her to do too much crazy stuff. I think that's how we find ourselves in some tough spots. We don't want to play this because obviously it'll wheel this away. We're going to play Sogazon because we most likely want to slam this later anyway. And I want to hit my land drop so whenever Virtue comes around, we're good. I'm going to pass here. Could also Field of Ruin me if they really, or Demolition Field me if they want to cycle my Carnosaur away, which could have been a reason for us to maybe conceal the draw or the land so they don't think that we have the mana to even play this. I think that's just kind of silly overall. Here's the Sunfall that we knew was coming. With Gix in my deck and Go for Throat being a dead card, we're going to go for the third or Shieldred here. Okay, nice. I don't know if they mean it, but I'm not really pumped about doing that. Maybe they found a counter spell. They played another Demolition Field. They could definitely do it. Are they gonna let me draw though? That's the big thing. They do let me draw. Okay. Well, I mean, if they have counterspell, they have counterspell. We're slamming the Carnosaur, obviously. We do play Caverns, and Cavern is what we would have went and grabbed off our Cruelty Gix. Oh, now we're a combo deck. I am surprised to not see them have Demolition Field me and put my Carnosaur away. Yeah, so it is... Hope we dodge. I don't know. Definitely blow up the creature land if that's your objective with that. There'd be no reason not to. With our hand, we definitely grab a swamp. Take the action. Of course, we have 4 basics left. Well, we now have 3 basics left. Something to keep track of as we move through this game. Obviously, it's not just said and done. Maybe they have another Sunfall or Demolition, or I keep saying a Demolition Field, a Depopulate. Depopulates the other board wipe, or Farewell, you know. That's good too. Farewell card did, to some extent, fell out of favor just because of it being slow against mono red. They still have an Emperor. They still have all this other shenanigans. We can play this in developed board, but now that we're kind of working their hand down, let's just slam the Shieldred. We have 2 mana for a Make Disappear all the day. We have a Shieldred. Still have this Emperor up. Sure, that doesn't really bother me too much. This 1/1's kind of whatever. Attacking or blocking creature. We do have to watch out for the play of attack. We block. They play an Emperor. They plus on this token. And then they Elspeth Smite my Shieldred. Maybe they don't see it. Maybe that's just something they don't want to do. I think attacking would make some sense to some degree. I definitely understand not attacking as well. We'll bat. We'll see what we can find in our opponent's hand. We're in that sweet spot where they're kind of low on cards, but not super low on cards. We also have removal immediately. They play Emperor. Okay. This works out well for us to some extent.
Just underwhelming.
They say nice again. That's fine with me. We will do Better Triumph. We'll pay 3 life. We'll see if they don't make the 2/2. Kind of what we hope. They just kind of mess up and don't make it. Yeah, okay. That all happens. Fine. I mean, end of the day, we deep cavern bat. We take that away. Okay. I'm proud that it worked out for you, I guess. We now get value off our virtue, though. We don't have anything to concern ourselves with, and if they're going to try to keep plussing on it, we'll just take it out. I assume they're going to make a 2/2, obviously, but who knows. Could be interesting, could not be. I don't really want to waste time where they didn't activate it at all. Sick. So, we didn't end up removing it, so regardless, we feel fine. The only main problem that I see right now is this could be another counter spell. So, on one hand, I kind of just want to slam a Shieldred and make them have to deal with it. But I also could just play like this into something, and maybe it finds an answer for the Emperor. Let's just slam Shieldred. They ripped a counter spell. They ripped a counter spell. Then no attack because obviously they have the 2 creature lands sitting over there ready. We do get Farewell, so slamming the Virtue doesn't matter as much now. They kind of forget that a little bit. Sure, we don't really have anything in our hand to do with the mana, so we're not going to waste our time floating it. Grab another swamp here. Be a little bit careful. We're running kind of thin on red. Not like super thin, but kind of. They draw, they go to 7. Another demo field. Another 2/2 mid. And if we draw removal, depending how this works out, could be an Elspeth Smite, so I'm not blocking. I feel like that's what it is, and that's what I'm putting them on. Sometimes you just have to put them on a card and just hope that that's what they're on, regardless of what it is. I could commit more here. Let me play this Appraiser, see what we get. Hive Harvester. Do we want to play the Blood Hive Harvester? I guess so. They're going to go to 5. Actually, I'd rather put that in hand, because now I can just kind of hold it back, and then if they do wipe the board, we just go like threat. Have a good time that way. Good attack with Shieldred. I think there's no point. We're slowly working this game down. Gonna let Shieldred do her thing. And demo field, gonna come in, blow up my cavern, obviously. We could have held the cavern, but it is what it is. We need to grab a red source here. We're a little bit thin on it in comparison to black. Yeah, now we're evened up for the most part. I think we're 1 short. 5 black sources or red, but can't be perfect all the time. So they draw a Get Lost. That actually helps us out to an extent. Because now we can slam this virtue and work our way there.
I have got new moves
If they
to teach
attack with that, both of those, I'll just block with the appraiser there. I don't think so. I think I can get my creatures much larger than them. I think they're in desperate mode now. Oh, we can see what's in their hand now. I like that. Blame it. If it's a counter spell, obviously it's going to get used on this. Like, no way it doesn't. I want to take a look. Could be a bad card. Could be a good card. It's Elspeth's Might. Who would have thought? So we put them on the correct card. It was just whether or not we had it in time. Let us put a counter here, because this can quickly grow out of the Elspeth's Smite range. Carnosaur on top is a good draw. And we draw before this triggers, so we'll both not only get the Carnosaur, but get to kind of go up from there. Now we have a 5/4. 5/4 is definitely going in here. It's lethal, so they have to block. You could block with the 2/2 and Elspeth Smite it, which then we're feeling good. You'd like kind of a dead draw. Little surprised because they also could have exiled it with Emperor, maybe, but I understand getting the Elspeth Smite down.
Guards, to me.
3. Obviously not going to worry about that. We have a Carnosaur. Ulti Gix. We'll grab a Cavern. I think we have another Cavern. We do. Good name Dino. Good Bat again as well. But I don't think Bat really does much for us. So I guess for me, it's just going to be grab a Shieldred here. Down to 12. So we do kind of have to commit a little bit to the board to kind of make sure we don't die. We'll play Shieldred. We have 4 mana available. And I can now attack with the Bat. Make this a 2-turn clock. They bring up Manland. We can obviously cycle this on it, but I think we can play the Harvester now though too, because we're in just like a good spot in terms of refilling the board. But again, I'm just going to wait. I don't have this mana to activate, but now they go down to 3. Have way more cards that care about us going to combat than they do that care about us where we're currently at, just waiting. Maybe they ripped it. Odawara. That's a good one for sure. Could have cycled there, maybe threw our Preacher away to gain a little bit more life if we wanted to. But we're going to clear the way, I think. Striker there.
Remember your training.
Shieldred in the yard. The way this is panning out. Oh, this might actually be a mistake. It's actually a mistake if they attack with this land. Whether they are thinking that far ahead or not. So for us, you might be like, why is it a mistake? Because what we're going to do here, we're going to block, right? And we'll get this block off. And I mean, I guess like in theory, it's like not a mistake because like obviously they could force us to block with the Bat. But now what will happen is we get to attack with this Bat. And whenever they bring this other creature land up, so we put in a Shieldred. I select Shieldred, thank you. We'll put in the Shieldred. And now we can actually go to combat with this Bat. For the first time, this Bat's actually going to attack our opponent. And then what they're going to do is they're going to bring up the Manland. Maybe we forgot. But can now put 3 damage on this. And on this creature land. And it will die because it is a 2/3. Get it off the board. And we get to hit for 1. And with no cards in hand, the Shieldred will tick our opponent for 2. Upkeep. And we will end up taking away the game here. Could have argued that maybe they played Tidebinder. Can you imagine if I got Tidebinder and I just got told to sit down? That'd been crazy. But we end up pulling it out against control. So that's probably going to be it for me right now. So that outro, huh? Okay. So here we are. We finally played a Discover version of Rakdos. I have not done it, and as you can tell, I named it that it finally worked. I had VroomProductions, a person that subscribed to me. They have their own YouTube channel. You should definitely go check them out. I'm going to link this is their deck list in the description, so you can definitely go check their content out if you would like. Very nice person overall, like always commenting, being nice, you know. So definitely shout out to them. But for us, we finally get to play this. As you'll notice, I at the beginning of the video, you'll see that I had won 2 games. But then I went to the gym, obviously New Year's resolution, make sure I go to the gym. I had to go to the gym, so I went to the gym with my friends, and we went and lifted. And while I was walking on the treadmill, we do about like a 10-minute walk before, 10-minute walk after. I was playing on my phone, and I kind of punted some games, so it reset me back down. As you'll see, like we just hit diamond, we go up 2, we lose 2. I lost the dinosaurs because I kind of misplayed, and like pretty big, like they had 2 fight rings in play, but they were stuck on 3 mana. They didn't really do anything, and I had the option of play Shieldred, hope they don't have it, and then just close out the game like in the next 3 turns, because dinosaurs can go way over the top of us, and with 2 fight rings in play, it's very possible. But I also had a removal spell in hand and a Blood Tithe Harvester, and I could have just played Blood Tithe Harvester and held up the removal spell and removed the thing that they targeted, and then went a little bit slower with it. But at the gym, I was kind of like, I want to get this game over as quick as possible, so I just played it, and I wanted to get reps with the deck before I was like coming back to record, because I definitely play a lot of Rakdos at times, so forgetting what cards are in the deck and what cards are not in the deck, I do that a couple of times. Not throughout the video, but just like in general, sometimes I'll forget that type of stuff. But we finally got it to work. We played no 1-drops. Cut down is normally the only 1-drop we will realistically see in a deck like this, and we just don't play it here. And the reason why, from my understanding, is we need Bitter Triumph more than anything else. It works and has a lot of synergy with the Cruelty of Gix, even though we're down to 2 of. Cruelty of Gix can be a little clunky at times whenever you put 3 to 4 in your deck and you're playing best of 1, and you draw 2 of them back to back on 3 lands, and you're just crying in the club. But we get the Bitter Triumph here, and the main purpose of this is to answer planeswalkers that we kind of can't deal with, whether that's our opponent playing a Jace, playing the Millis, or our opponent playing like a Nissa that just constantly puts bigger and bigger threats in play, like in Golgari, and just like Emperors or Big Emperors. Kaya, I think, has hexproof. I can never remember what Emperor, if Big Emperor or Kaya has hexproof, and I'm pretty sure it's Kaya. We can't really answer that regardless, but we should be able to try to fight underneath that. And the other piece that they kind of explained to me that they liked a lot was NT, and NT being able to kind of fill in that role of Rafine in terms of an Esper, with putting extra counters on the bat or putting extra counters on Blood Tithe Harvester and cycling through some of the cards that are really bad. But it also works incredibly well with Bitter Triumph, because in Bitter Triumph, you can discard a card instead of paying life. And if you have an NT in play, you can actually discard a card to this. It'll trigger NT's ability, and then you will exile a card. So we don't really lose a card, and we don't lose that value of like, oh, we have to pay 3 life or something like that. And on the other hand as well, that works with the channel lands. It's a small little thing that, like, if you have an NT in play and you channel a Takenuma, well, NT will trigger and flip. And because the way NT is worded, it doesn't go away until our next end step. So if we do it on our opponent's turn, we actually get to keep that card and start with that card on our turn as well. So sometimes that'll help us hit extra lands or help us hit a card that's important. It happened one time in the video with the Bitter Triumph, and you'll see it. But it's just nice. It's just like a nice kind of little synergy piece that we have. Also, the blood tokens as well trigger with NT. So there is a lot more synergy with NT in this deck than what it currently seems like there might be. Outside of that, in our 3 mana spot, pretty standard for red-black piles. You can't really, like, this is one of the downsides when you're not playing like Golgari. You don't have like a plethora of good green, like 3-drops that you can play. So we end up playing Preacher a lot of times. This will be a 4 of, or Gix will be a 2 of most of the time. I don't normally see it as a 3 of ever, and when I do, I don't necessarily agree with it, because I think it's not necessarily the best, especially when you're discovering and it's a legendary creature, where like I'd much rather, if you were going to be like, I want to do a 3 and 3 split, I'd much rather be on 2 and then 4 of the Preacher. But these are pretty common in this spot for this Rakdos deck. And then in the 4-drop spot, I think is also pretty, I think the rest of the deck's pretty like pretty much filled out probably how you would do it. I think a lot of the spiciness comes down to being on 4 of these, which is somewhat dangerous against mono red. But you kind of just have to be willing to let go of extra cards and make sure you don't die. Because if you die, it doesn't matter how many cards you have. So at the end of the day, let them go sometimes. But also playing the NT and then trying to synergize with this Blood Tithe Harvester and whatnot, and not playing any cut downs. And then the problem is Go for the Throat is significantly... Go for the Throat goes through like peaks and valleys a lot. And main problem with it, one, can't target planeswalkers. Gildred's Edict's a little bit awkward because obviously they have a couple creatures in play. You can't make them forcefully sack the right creature that you want them to. But Go for the Throat, there's so many more artifact creatures kind of floating around, and Schooner is a good card. So like now we can't really go for the Throat to Schooner, and we're just stuck in this like awkward spot. I'd much rather spend 3 damage here on a Bitter Triumph to remove the Schooner than take the 3 damage from the Schooner over and over again because I'm holding a Go for the Throat in my hand. So that's where a lot of the spice in the deck list is. Also, it's kind of come back around. Weirdly enough, the humans deck sometimes don't play them, but we get to prioritize putting Cavern in our list because we can name Vampire. Vampire is our second most popular creature type, I believe. And then we play it on Dino if needed. And a lot of times Cruelty at Gix will tutor out a Cavern Soul so we can play into our Carnosaur. Or if we miss a land drop, we can actually go get that land because we use this the turn before to look at our opponent's hand and take away something important. So the deck overall is good. Obviously, it has a lot of success online. I normally just get thrashed when I play this deck list. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's play style that I can't personally play very well, or I haven't put enough time in to like kind of commit to playing this slightly different than I would play like like a different deck. I always end up getting crushed, but so today I'm kind of happy that sitting at my PC, I've done a lot better than what I've done in the past. So outside of that, that's all I really got for you today. I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.